Hello dear, thanks for clicking to this video. You're welcome to Yvonne Winifred UG. So this is the dress we are making today. And to start off, I have this legendary Ankara fabric called the Chitenge fabric that I will be using in this video. So to start off, you have to measure from your center back towards where you want your sleeve to stop. So in this case, I have 15 inches. Remember that my fabric is folded into two. This is the front fabric or the front piece that I'm starting with. It is folded into two, and I'm taking off 15 inches, and I added 1 inch as the sewing allowance at the side. Then the length I'm using is 40 inches. So I'm marking my neck width at 30 inches because I'm making a medium-sized dress. So I'm using 30 inches neck width and neck depth. But if you're small, you can use 2.5 inches. 2.5 for neck width and 2.5 for neck depth. So I'm continuing to mark about 5 inches as my slit. I'll be opening up this part. There will be a slit at that part. It's about 4.5 to 5 inches according to your desired measurement. So I'm making sure that I have my 15 inches here. So I'm marking 16. Remember, I have to add seam allowance. So from where my 16 has stopped, I'm going to slant my shoulder by 2 inches. I'm slanting it by 2 inches. Normally we slant by 1 inch, but since this is going up to the sleeve area, I'm slanting it by 2 inches. Then I connect from my neck width towards the 2 inches that I've slanted. Make sure you use your line so that your line is really straight. I'm using free hand in this video, but it's well. So from that slant, I'm marking 8 inches, and that will be my sleeve opening. 8 inches, and that is the sleeve opening that I'm using in this video. You can use 7, you can use 9 accordingly, according to your size, but I'm using 8 inches in this video. So here I'm making sure that I still have my 16 inches, and I mark where the 16 inches stop there. So I go down here where I'm going to mark my sleeve opening and still ensure that it is 16 inches. So you can leave that part open, or you can just mark a line just the way I'm doing here. So from where the sleeve opening has ended, I'm going to come in by 2 inches. Just follow as I do this. I'm coming in by 2 inches there, and from where the 2 inches end, I go down still by 2 inches or 1.5 inches, but in this case I'm using 2 inches still. So from my marking there, I'm just going to create a slanted curve. I'm shaping a curve here so that we get the shape of the bubu dress that we are making. So from the top, I'm marking where my hip line is, and I'm marking also where the waistline is. But you can leave out the waistline, but if you want it, or for the correct nice measurement, you can indicate where your waistline is and mark it. So this is after marking those two lines, I'm using the hip measurement of 42 inches. So 42 inches divided by 4, I'm getting 10.5 inches. So since this is a free dress, it is not tight, I'm going to add more 2 inches to my 10.5 inches, and this is what I'm marking here at the hip line. So 10.5 inches plus like 2 inches or 3 inches I mark there. So I've just added 2 inches, side seam allowance included. So you can just connect from the hip area to where to up here where we where we stopped. But if not, you can, if you want your waist to be included, or if you want it a little bit fitted at the waist area, you can just come in by 2 inches or 1 inch. In this case I came in by 1 inch from the measurement that I have at the hip area. I just come in by 1 inch at the waistline, and that's the measurement I mark. And after there I just connect. But if you want your waist to be really fitted, you can just mark your waist measurement divided by 4 plus like 2 inches, and it will be just like that. It will be fitted at the waist. But in this case it's a free dress. I just removed 1 inch from the hip measurement, or from the measurement I marked at the hip, and measured it at the waist area. So at the hemline, what you have at the hip line is what you mark at the hemline. But if you want your dress a little bit tapered, you can just decrease by 2 inches or 1.5 inches, as we do when we are marking a pencil skirt. So this is it, guys. I've marked everything, and I'll just get my scissors and just cut out what I've marked. If you have anything that you've not understood, please comment and I'll explain very well. So now I'm just cutting out my desired shape. So this is it. But remember, guys, you have to add some sewing allowance at the shoulder measurement. So I'm adding 0.5 inches as sewing allowance at the shoulder there, towards where the sleeve will be. This is a kimono bubu dress. Remember, we are cutting both the sleeve together with the main fabric. So this is the front. You can just indicate. And then to mark out our back, folding the fabric twice, you just trace out your front piece, and you will have the back. But you have to change your neck depth. The only thing that changes at the back is the neck depth. So at the neck depth I'm marking 1.25 inches, but you can use even 1 inch as the neck depth, and then connect it to the neck width. The neck width is the same as the one we used at the front. So that is it. After there, you can just trace out your front. Remember, the back neck depth that we are using is 1.25 or 1 inch according to your size. So you just trace out and cut accordingly as we cut the front piece, and this is what I am doing in this case. So after cutting everything here, I'm just going to go ahead and cut my facing, both for the front piece and the back piece. So folding another small piece of fabric, I'm just going to trace out my neck area, and in this case I'm starting with the front piece first. So I mark out the neck area as you see there, and then remove this front piece, tracing out the front neck. Then remember, we have that slit opening, you have to include it even on the facing, and then you can use maybe like 3 inches or 3.5. In this case I use 3.5 inches for as I was cutting the facing for this dress. So even after that's where the slit ends, you just mark 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches, and then connect the markings, and then that is our facing. So when it comes to sewing the facing, you can either sew it on top or inside the dress, but in this case I sewed everything inside, but I'll show you how you can sew it on top. So again, I'm cutting accordingly, and the facing is done. Remember, we have to cut in the middle there. So after there, I'm going again, and I trace out that front neck region, and I mean the back neck region, and then I mark out 3.5 inches all round as the measurement for my facing, and that will be all. After, you just cut out. Remember, this is a free dress. there is no zipper allowance needed, there is no there's no button needed. It is free, and because of the slit in the at the front neck region, you will be able to pass your head. You'll be able to get into the dress and get out of the dress. So continuing, this is the front piece and the facing is here. So in this case, I'll be joining like that by 1/2 inch and just push it inside. But if you want to put your facing on top of of your dress outside, you have to fix it like that, then you push it out the way you're seeing me, and then that's the right side will be on top. The right side of the facing will be on top of your dress at the back, and you just finish even the edges. So we have to cut out our slit at the front neck region. So this is what I am doing here. Remember, that slit is about 4.5 to 5 inches. So I think I used 5 inches in this video, but if it is too open for you, you can use 4 inches. You can even use 4.5. So at the sewing, that is how I'll be sewing. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So guys, after sewing, I went to the sewing machine and finished everything here, and this is how it looks after sewing. I sewed by 1/2 inch sewing allowance here. So at the right side, this is how it looks. Remember to cut some snaps or slips as you're folding out your fabric. So again, I'm taking this to the sewing machine, and I'll start by joining the shoulders, and then I'll join the sides by 1 inch side seam allowance, and then I'll finish up my sleeve opening like that, and then I'll hem the dress, and that will be it, guys. It is a simple dress. It is even easy to sew, and that will be all. So after all the sewing, this is the dress, guys. I went ahead and top stitched my facing so that it doesn't flip out, and I finished the sleeve as you see here. I also hemmed the dress by 3/4 of an inch, and that is the dress. Thanks so much for watching. Comment below if you have any questions, and I'll be glad to answer you. Thank you always for watching my videos. See you.